Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, March 18th, 2014. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. And you'll see that the futures are trading higher by about 6.5 points. It looks like the market did rebound after some Russian comments were made that Russia is not looking to get engaged in the West or in the East, any conflict. But so we'll see how the market behaves. There's also some real peculiar action taking place in the dollar-yen chart, and I feel that this is the major market mover. And you can see dollar-yen was really tanking down to around the 101.30 level. And then right around 7 o'clock when those comments were made, dollar-yen spiked higher. And you got that big spike higher, and that also lifted the S&P at the same exact time. So, again, the markets were down around 1852. Now they're trading at 1864.5. You got that nice big surge. We'll see if the dollar-yen chart can move up a little bit. But again, it really doesn't matter what the dollar-yen chart does overnight. It really matters what it does once the U.S. market opens. And right now, it is off the lows. While it is still lower by 18 cents, it is sharply off the lows. And that's really the driving force. So if dollar-yen moves higher once the opening bell rings, the stock market will most likely move higher. If the dollar-yen starts to come back down and make new lows, there's not a doubt in my mind that the stock market will make new lows. Earlier today, right around 8:30 this morning, we did have some economic data that was released, and again, it was basically consumer prices that edged up about 0.1% of 1% in February. Housing starts dip in February, but permits were up 7.7%. All of this stuff is just noise. The market does not even care about it. The market just cares about this carry trade right here regarding the dollar-yen chart. Okay, does the Japanese yen, when this goes up, the Japanese yen weakens, and that's all that matters. There's really nothing else out here that matters. You could talk about housing starts and CPI and PPI and all that other stuff. That is just noise, and more noise. This is all the stock market cares about. Is this carry trade going to continue? That's the bottom line. All right, let's take a look at some stocks today in the news. DSW, I believe they reported some earnings, if I'm not mistaken. So again, DSW, yeah, they did report earnings. I don't know if how the market's reacting so far. It's trading really right around the $40 level. This is where it closed yesterday. The earnings were a little bit below forecast. So this is what you're going to do. If the stock gets up to around 41.10, 41.05, that's where the equity has a lot of resistance. That's where I could see a pullback coming in. And if it sells off sharply and it gets down to around the 36.50 level, that's where you'd step in and be a buyer. That's basically the two levels that I'm seeing. Upside 41.05 to 41.10. That should be very good intraday resistance. If it gets down to around the 36.50 level, that should be pretty good support. And that's where the stock is. I want to take a look at McGraw-Hill. MHFI is the ticker symbol. This company reported some news as well. It looks like they'll consider some kind of alternatives in their construction unit, and they will target $100 million in cost savings. So again, this is reaching for news here, but this is all that I'm seeing at the moment. There's not a lot we could do with this equity, at least not yet. But watch for a little bit of strength here off that news. So, again, I would not be getting in front of McGraw-Hill on that news. That's a sign of strength. So, again, where could it go? I'm not 100% sure. But if the stock can get above $82 today, it has a lot more upside to around the $82.50 level. If it does come down to $77, then you would want to be a buyer there, right around $77.10. That would be a good level if it does come down there. Next one we're going to look at is Shutterfly today. I know there's some news on it. I don't exactly remember what the news was, but nonetheless, stock is getting hit. We're going to have this one as a gap play this morning, so we will look to trade this on one of the gap plays. But there is some news out on Shutterfly this morning. Stock is trading down to around the 47.05 level. There's not a lot of volume here, so this could change. So just be aware of it. But either way, if it gets down to a certain level, we'll be looking to snatch it up as a gap play today. And just a scalp play at that. Let's take a look at GME. with GME is GameStop. This is another one that started the morning pretty weak, all the way down to $36. Now back up to $38. This is another one we'll have as a morning gap play as well. Again, I'm not sure where this thing's going to find a home here and settle in. But if it does trade a little bit lower, we will have some gap levels for everybody to play this one once the opening bell rings today. Now, this is the week of options expiration. What I mean by that is it's the monthly expiration for the month of March. It's going to be quadruple witching expiration, which means there are 4 different classes of equities that will be expiring this coming Friday. So whenever you get the into options expiration week, especially quadruple witching, you want to be aware of a lot of rumors. Yesterday I was hearing the rumor that Google's going to buy eBay and all these wacky rumors, but they're usually just noise. They're really not hard fact. They're just being spread by some institution that has a position in one of those stocks. Now today you're going to see a lot of upgrades and downgrades. Today we got an upgrade in Hewlett Packard by Barclays to overweight from equal weight, and then Cisco was cut to equal weight from overweight. So Barclays upgraded Hewlett Packard. They cut Cisco. And again, these are the things you're going to watch for. You're going to get a lot of upgrades. You're going to get a lot of downgrades. Most of them are just going to be nonsense, but that's what you're going to see today. So, Cisco's getting downgraded here. I wouldn't sell Cisco short here because the stock's already been beaten up. So again, don't really look for all that much downside in Cisco from what I could see at the moment. But nonetheless, this is going to be the week of rumors. It's going to be the week of upgrades. It's going to be the week of downgrades. And most of them are going to really be nonsense, to tell you the truth. So be a little bit aware of that and see how that plays out. Another stock here I'm seeing is going to be FactSet. The stock reported some earnings. The stock's trading down at 102.55. The stock looks like, to me, has a lot of support at $100.50. So keep that on the radar. If it does slip a little bit more, then you just look at the Pierce of 100, maybe 99.50, 99.60. But there should be decent support around the $100.50 level on FDS. So keep that one on the radar as well. Now, things that are getting hit today, gold. Gold is getting smacked down today. Gold is down $21 at the moment. This all has to do with the Russian situation. So we're going to take a look at the GLD right now. Spot gold, though, is trading down around 21 bucks to around 13.52 an ounce. So gold has been on a tear recently. I think it's still going to go higher, but today it's taking a setback. If you take a look at the GLD this morning, you'll see this is trading at $130.23, closed at $131.64. So that's a sizable dip in gold, but nothing treacherous or nothing damaging on the charts, but it is a good pullback today. So watch for gold miners to be weak at the start of the day. Also, gold futures, as I said, are down $21 at the moment. So again, you got to be a little bit careful with gold today. This really has a lot to do with Russia, and it has a lot to do with the dollar yen. So if the dollar yen starts to move lower, watch gold to catch a bit higher. If the dollar yen starts to move higher, gold most likely will go lower. So that's generally your tip-off for gold, is to watch the dollar yen chart as it trades generally inversely to dollar yen, where the stock market will trade sometimes in lockstep with the dollar yen. So gold right now is definitely the opposite trade of the market, and it is the opposite trade of dollar yen. So keep that on note, keep that on watch. Next, we're going to talk about oil. Oil is trading up a little bit today by 24 cents. Light sweet crude is up 24 cents to $98.32 a barrel. We're going to look at the USO, which is a good proxy for trading light sweet crude, and what you'll see here is that USO is trading at 35.27. It closed at 35.15, so you got a little bit of an uptick. The level I like for USO, though, is still around that 34.45 level. So that's still my best bet. If it gets down there, watch for a bounce. Until then, I'm not going to really do anything with oil or the USO at this time. But if it does get down to that $34.45 level, I think there's a scalp play to the upside. Remember, a scalp play is nothing more than a quick day trade, 10 to 30 minutes. Okay, so we'll look to scalp the USO. If it got down to 34.40, 45, that looks like a pretty good level, in my opinion, for a scalp long. All right, with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here, short and sweet. And again, we pretty much covered everything. Today begins a 2-day Fed meeting. So Janet Yellen, who is now in charge of the Federal Reserve, will begin a 2-day Fed meeting, but we will not get the announcement until tomorrow. So the markets today could be a little bit on the quieter side, but right now they are holding up pretty well. You got the futures up about 6.5 points at the moment, so we'll see if that can hold up throughout the remainder of the day. I'm not sure, but remember, this is the week of rumors. This is the week of these ridiculous upgrades and downgrades, so be prepared. You're going to see a lot of it. All right, with that said, everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you on the charts.